Furthermore, the Brahma king, Sikhin, found the door of liberation, abiding in all sights of enlightenment everywhere, and preaching the truth while being pure and free of attachments in all actions. Brahma king, light of wisdom, found the door of liberation, inducing all sentient beings to enter meditative absorption and stay there. Brahma king, radiance of beneficent wisdom, found the door of liberation, entering everywhere into all inconceivable truths. Brahma king, sound of ubiquitous clouds, found the door of liberation, entering into the ocean of all utterances of the Buddhas. Brahma king, independent observer of the sounds of speech of the worlds, found the door of liberation, of ability to remember all the techniques used by enlightening beings in teaching all sentient creatures. Brahma king, eyes of still light, found the door of liberation, showing the individual differences in characteristics of results, of actions, of all beings. Brahma king, all-pervading light, found the door of liberation, of appearing before all sentient beings to guide them according to their various types. Brahma king, sound of magical displays, found the door of liberation, dwelling in the realm of tranquil and serene action, of the pure aspect of all things. Brahma king, eyes of shining light, found the door of liberation, of always diligently appearing with no attachments, no boundaries, and no dependence in the midst of all existence. Brahma king, pleasing ocean sound, found the door of liberation, of constant contemplation and investigation of the inexhaustible truth. At that time, the great Brahma king, Sikhin, imbued with the spiritual power of the Buddha, surveyed all the celestial hosts of the heavens of Brahma bodies, Brahma assistants, Brahma masses, and great Brahmas, and said in verse, "The Buddha body is pure and always tranquil. The radiance of its light extends throughout the world, signless, patternless, without images, like clouds in the sky. Thus it is seen. This realm of concentration of the Buddha body cannot be assessed by any sentient being. It shows them inconceivable, expedient doors. This is the enlightenment of wisdom light. The ocean of teachings, numerous as atoms in a Buddha land, are expounded in a single word, all without remainder. They can be expounded this way for oceans of aeons, without ever being exhausted. This is the liberation of light of beneficent wisdom. The complete sound of the Buddhas is equal to the worlds. Sentient beings each attain understanding according to their kind, yet there is no difference in their sound. Such is the understanding of the Brahma king, universal sound. The methods of entering enlightenment of the Buddhas of all times are all apparent in the Buddha body. This is the liberation of sound of freedom. The activities of all sentient beings are different according to the causes. The effects are various. In this way did the Buddhas appear in the world. Silent light can understand this. Master of countless media of teaching, civilizing sentient beings everywhere in all quarters, yet not making distinctions therein. Such is the realm of universal light. The Buddha body is like space, inexhaustible, formless, unhindered. It pervades the 10 directions. All of its manifestations are like conjurations. Sound of magical displays understands this way. The appearance of the Buddha body are boundless, and so are the knowledge, wisdom, and voice. Being in the world, manifesting form, yet without attachment. Shining light has entered this door. The King of Truth reposes in the palace of sublime reality. The light of reality body illuminates everything. The nature of reality is incomparable and has no marks. This is the liberation of King Ocean Sound. Furthermore, the celestial king, sovereign freedom, had found the door of liberation of the treasury of freedom, manifestly developing and maturing innumerable sentient beings. Celestial king, sublime I Lord, found the door of liberation, examining the pleasures of all sentient beings, and causing them to enter the pleasure of the realm of sages. Celestial king, beautiful jeweled banner, found the door of liberation, causing all sentient beings to initiate practices according to their various inclinations and understandings. Celestial king, courageous intelligence, found the door of liberation, holding together all doctrines preached for the benefit of sentient beings. Celestial king, wonderful sound, phrases, found the door of liberation, remembering the compassion of the Buddha and increasing progress in his own practice. Celestial king, subtle light banner, found the door of liberation, of manifesting the door of great compassion and smashing down the banner of all pride and conceit. Celestial king, realm of peace, found the door of liberation, conquering the malicious attitudes of all people. Celestial king, array of splendid discs, banner, found the door of liberation of all the infinite Buddhas of the 10 directions, coming whenever they are remembered. Celestial king, flower light wisdom, found the door of liberation, of everywhere manifesting perfect enlightenment according to the minds and thoughts of sentient beings. Celestial king, sublime light of Indra, found the door of liberation, of independence, of great power to enter all worlds. At that time, the celestial king, sovereign freedom, imbued with the majestic power of the Buddha, surveyed all the celestial hosts of the heavens of freedom, and said in verse, "The Buddha body is all-pervasive, equal to the cosmos. It manifests in response to all sentient beings. With various teachings, he is always guiding. Master of teaching, he is able to enlighten. Of the various pleasures of the world, the pleasures of holy tranquility is supreme. Abiding in the vast essence of reality, sublime eyes sees this. The Buddha appears throughout the 10 directions, universally responding to all hearts, teaching the truth. All doubting thoughts are cut off. This is the door of liberation of beautiful banner crown. The Buddhas speak of the wondrous sound throughout the world. The teachings spoken over countless ages can all be expounded in a single word. This is the liberation of courageous intelligence. All the great kindness in the world cannot equal a hair-tip of the Buddha's. The Buddha's kindness is inexhaustible as space. This is the realization of wonderful sound. Completely demolishing in all quarters the mountains of pride of all beings. This is the function of the great compassion of the Buddha. This is the path traveled by subtle light banner. The light of wisdom, pure, fills the world. Any who see it are relieved of ignorance, and caused to leave evil ways. Realm of peace realizes this truth. The light of a hairpore is able to expound Buddha names as numerous as sentient beings. According to their pleasure, they can all hear it. This is Splendid Disc Banner's liberation. The Buddha's freedom cannot be measured. It fills the cosmos and all space. All the congregations see it clearly. This liberation door flower intellect enters. Over oceans of aeons, infinite, boundless, manifesting everywhere and preaching the truth. Never has a Buddha been seen to have any going or coming. This is the enlightenment of wonderful light. Furthermore, the celestial king's skillful transformations found the door of liberation of the magical displays demonstrating all actions. Celestial king, light of silent sound, found the door of liberation of relinquishing all clinging to objects. Celestial king, light of the power of transformation and emanation, found the door of liberation, annihilating the ignorant, muddled minds of all beings and causing their wisdom to be fully complete. Celestial king, master of adornments, found the door of liberation, manifesting unlimited pleasing sounds. Celestial king, light of all Buddhas, light of mindfulness, found the door of liberation, knowing the infinite, virtuous characteristics of all Buddhas. Celestial king, supreme cloud sound, found the door of liberation, knowing the process of becoming and decay of all past ages. Celestial king, supreme light, found the door of liberation, of knowledge to enlighten all beings. Celestial king, exquisite top-knot, found the door of liberation, shedding light swiftly, filling space in all directions. Celestial king, joyful wisdom, found the door of liberation, of the power of energy whose deeds cannot be ruined by anyone. Celestial king, flower light top-knot, found the door of liberation, knowing the rewards of actions of all sentient beings. Celestial king, seeing in all directions, found the door of liberation, showing inconceivable differences in form and kind of sentient beings. At that time, the celestial king's skillful transformation, imbued with the majestic power of the Buddha, surveyed the whole host of celestial beings of the heavens of enjoyment of emanations, and said in verse, "The essence of the doings of the world is inconceivable. The Buddha teaches all about it for the confused, skillfully explaining the true principle of causality, and the different doings of all sentient beings. Looking at the Buddha in various ways, there's nothing there. Seeking him in all directions, he can't be found. The manifestations of the reality body have no true actuality. This is truth, is seen by silent sound." The Buddha cultivated many practices over oceans of aeons, in order to extinguish the ignorance and confusion of the world. Therefore his purity is the most radiant light. This is the realization of the mind of light power. Of the sublime sounds and voices in the world, none can compare to the Buddha's sound. The Buddha pervades the 10 directions with a single sound, Entering this liberation is the master of adornment. All the power of wealth in the world is not equal to a single characteristic of the Buddha. The virtues of the Buddha are like space. This is perceived by mindful light. The infinite ages of past, present, and future, the various aspects of their becoming and decay, the Buddha can show in a single pore. Supreme Cloud Sound can comprehend this. The extent of all space may be known, but the extent of a pore of Buddha cannot be apprehended. Such non-obstruction is inconceivable. Exquisite Top-Knot has been able to realize this. The Buddha, in countless past ages, fully cultivated the far-reaching transcendent means. Working diligently, with non-flagging vigor, joyful intelligence knows this teaching. The causes and conditions of the nature of actions are inconceivable. The Buddha explains them for all the world. The nature of things is fundamentally pure, with no defilements. This is the entryway of flower light. You should gaze on a pore of the Buddha. All sentient beings are therein, and they neither come nor go. This is the understanding of universal sight. Furthermore, the celestial king contended, found the door of liberation of all the Buddhas, bringing forth a complete, fully rounded teaching of the world. Celestial King, ocean of joy and bliss Top-Knot, found the door of liberation of the body of pure light extending throughout the realm of space. Celestial King, banner of supreme virtues, found the door of liberation of the ocean of pure vows to extinguish the suffering of the world. Celestial King, still and silent light, found the door of liberation of physical manifestation, everywhere to expound the truth. Celestial King, pleasing eyes, found the door of liberation, purifying the realms of all sentient beings. Celestial King, jewel peak moon, found the door of liberation of the inexhaustible store of eternal manifestation, teaching all worlds. Celestial King, courage and strength, found the door of liberation, showing the realm of true awakening of all Buddhas. Celestial King, subtle diamond light, found the door of liberation, fortifying and solidifying all sentient beings' will for enlightenment, making it unbreakable. Celestial King, constellation banner, found the door of liberation of techniques for associating with all Buddhas that appear, meditative investigation, and harmonization of sentient beings. Celestial King, pleasing adornments, found the door of liberation of instantly knowing the minds of sentient beings and appearing according to their potentials. At that time, Celestial King, contented, imbued with the awesome power of the Buddha, surveyed all the hosts of the heaven of contentment, and spoke in verse. The Buddha is vast, extending throughout the cosmos, equal towards all sentient beings, universally responding to all hearts. He opens the door of wonder, causing them to enter the inconceivable pure truth. The Buddha body manifests everywhere, in the 10 directions, free from attachment and obstruction. It cannot be grasped. In various forms it is seen by all worlds. This is the entry of Top-Knot of joy. The Buddha cultivated various practices in the past, his pure great vows deep as the sea. All enlightening ways he causes to be fulfilled. Supreme virtue knows these techniques. The Buddha body is inconceivable. Like reflections, it shows separate forms. equal to the cosmos, everywhere clarifying all things. This is the liberation door of silent light. Sentient beings are bound and covered by habitual delusion, conceited, careless, their minds run wild. The Buddha expounds for them the way to calm. Pleasing eyes, aware of this, rejoices at heart. A true guide of all worlds, he appears to rescue, to provide refuge, showing all beings the abode of peace and happiness. Jewel Peak Moon enters deeply into this. The state of the Buddhas, inconceivable. It extends throughout all universes, entering all things, reaching the other shore. Courageous intellect, seeing this, rejoices. If any sentient beings can accept the teaching, and hearing the virtues of Buddha, strive for enlightenment, he causes them to dwell in the ocean of bounty, forever pure. Subtle light is able to observe this. Gathering around all the Buddhas, numerous as atoms in the lands of the 10 directions, reverently making offerings, and hearing the teaching. This is the vision of Constellation Banner. The ocean of sentient beings' minds is inconceivable. It has no rest, no motion, no place of abode. The Buddha can see it all in an instant. This beautiful array well comprehends. Furthermore, the celestial king Timely Portion had found the door of liberation, of inspiring virtue in all sentient beings, and causing them to be forever free from anxiety and torment. Celestial king Sublime Light found the door of liberation, entering into all realms. Celestial king, banner of inexhaustible wisdom and virtue, found the door of liberation, of the wheel of great compassion, destroying all afflictions. Celestial king, skilled in miraculous displays, found the door of liberation, comprehending the mentalities of all sentient beings of the past, present, and future. Celestial king, great light of memory power, found the door of liberation, of the light of the gates of concentration formula, holding in memory all teachings without forgetting. Celestial king, inconceivable wisdom, found the door of liberation, of inconceivable methods, of skillfully entering into the nature of all actions. Celestial king, circular navel, found the door of liberation, of methods of activating the cycles of the teaching and developing sentient beings to maturity. Celestial king, light flame, found the door of liberation, of the vast eye, observing all sentient beings, and going to civilize them. Celestial king, illumination, found the gate of liberation, getting beyond all barriers of habit, and not going along with bedeviling doings. The celestial king, greatly famed for universal observation, found the door of liberation, of skillfully guiding all celestial beings and inducing them to undertake actions with a pure heart. At that time, the celestial king Timely Portion, imbued with the power of the Buddha, surveyed all the hosts of the Suyama heaven of good Timely Portion and spoke in verse, saying, "The Buddha, for innumerable long aeons, has dried up the sea of troubles of the world, opening wide the road of purity out of defilement. He causes to shine eternally the lamp of being's wisdom. The Buddha's body is exceedingly vast. No borders can be found in the 10 directions. His expedient means are unlimited. Subtle light's knowledge has access to this. The pains of birth, aging, sickness, death, and grief oppress beings without relief. The great teacher takes pity and vows to remove them all. Inexhaustible wisdom, light, can comprehend this. Unhindered is the Buddha's knowledge that all is illusory. He clearly comprehends all things in all times, delving into the mental patterns of all sentient beings. This is the realm of skillful teaching. The bounds of his total recall are not to be found. The ocean of his eloquence is also unlimited. He is able to turn the wheel of pure, subtle truth. This is the liberation of great light. The nature of actions is vast and inexhaustible. His knowledge comprehends it and skillfully explains. All his methods are inconceivable. Such is the entry of wisdom, turning the wheel of inconceivable truth, demonstrating and practicing the way of enlightenment, forever annihilating the suffering of all sentient beings. This is the level technique of circular navel. The real body of the Buddha is fundamentally non-dual, yet it fills the world according to beings and forms. Sentient beings each see it before them. This is the perspective of flames of light. Once any sentient beings see the Buddha, it will cause them to clear away habitual obstructions, and forever abandons devilish actions. This is the path traveled by illumination. All hosts of beings are vast as oceans. Among them, the Buddha is most majestically glorious. Everywhere he rains the rain of truth to enrich sentient beings. This liberation door, greatly famed, enters. Furthermore, the celestial king, Chakra, Indra, found the door of liberation of great joy, remembering the appearance in the world of the Buddhas of past, present, and future, and clearly seeing the becoming and disintegration of the lands. The celestial king, full sound of universal fame, found the door of liberation, of ability to cause the form body of the Buddha to be most pure and vast, without compare in the world. Celestial king, kind eyes, jewel topknot, found the door of liberation, of clouds of compassion covering all. Celestial king, jewel light banner, fame, found the door of liberation, of always seeing the Buddha manifesting various forms of majestic bodies to all the leaders of the world. Celestial king, joy-producing topknot, found the door of liberation, knowing from what virtuous actions and cities and buildings all sentient beings came to be. The celestial king, admirable mindfulness, found the door of liberation, showing the deeds of the Buddhas developing sentient beings. Celestial king, lofty supreme sound, found the door of liberation, of knowledge of becoming and decay of all worlds, and the signs of change of the ages. Celestial king, perfect mindfulness, found the door of liberation, of calling to mind the acts of future enlightening beings in civilizing people. Celestial king, pure flower light, found the door of liberation, of knowledge of the cause of happiness in all heavens. Celestial king, son of wisdom eye, found the gate of liberation, showing the acceptance and production of roots of goodness of all celestial beings, removing ignorance and delusion. Celestial king, independent light, found the door of liberation, enlightening all celestial beings, causing them to cut off all sorts of doubts forever At that time, celestial king Shakra Indra, imbued with the power of the Buddha, surveyed all the hosts of celestial beings of the 33 heavens and spoke in verse, saying, I am conscious of the spheres of all Buddhas, in all times, being all equal. As their lands form and disintegrate, they see all by enlightened spiritual powers. The Buddha body is vast and all-pervasive. Its ineffable form, incomparable, aids all beings, the radiance of its light reaching everywhere. This path universal fame can observe. The Buddha's great compassionate ocean of techniques has been utterly purified by past aeons of practice, and guides sentient beings without bound. Jewel Topknot has realized this. I contemplate the ocean of virtues of the King of Truth, supreme in the world, having no peer, producing an immense sense of joy. This is the liberation of Jewel Light. The Buddha knows the sea of sentient beings' good works, various excellent causes, producing great blessings. All these he causes to be manifest. This is seen by Topknot of joy. The Buddhas appear in the 10 directions, everywhere throughout all worlds, observing the minds of beings and showing how to tame them. Right mindfulness realizes this path. The vast eye of the Buddha's wisdom body sees every particle of the world, and reaches in the same way throughout the 10 directions. This is the liberation of cloud sound. The enlightening practice of all Buddhists, the Buddha shows in a single hair pore, infinite as they are, all complete. This is seen clearly by mindfulness. All the pleasant things of the world are born of the Buddha. The virtues of the Buddhas are supreme, unequaled. This liberation flower king enters. If one thinks of a bit of the Buddha's virtue, the mind concentrating on it, for even a moment, the fears of the evil ways will be banished forever. Wisdom Eye profoundly realizes this. Great spiritual powers, within the state of tranquility, universally respond to all minds, extending everywhere, causing all doubt and confusion to be cut off. This is the attainment of light.